This is Singapore Airlines business class food. And this is Qatar Airways business class offerings. This is Singapore Airlines dessert. And this is Qatar Airways sweet creations. Which one not only looks visually appealing but also beckons your taste buds? Hello fellow travelers, in this video I'll be delving into our recent flight aboard Singapore Airlines business class, taking us from Los Angeles to Singapore. It's worth noting that Singapore Airlines was crowned the best airline for 2023 by the prestigious Skytrax World Airline Awards, often regarded as the Oscars of the aviation industry, beating Qatar Airways. While Qatar Airways proudly secured the title of the world's best business class and the world's best business class seat, Singapore Airlines claimed the world's best first class and world's best first class seat, and also bagging second place best business class. But does Singapore Airlines truly live up to its acclaimed reputation? Join me to find out. In this video, I won't delve too deeply into the seat amenities as there are a lot of videos covering that aspect. What I'll focus on is primarily on the overall experience and how it distinguishes itself from our previous business class flights. Almost a year in advance, I made a booking for my wife and I utilizing 518,000 points and an additional $72 for the round-trip flights. I know it was not the optimal award seat redemption, but I was eagerly anticipating the day we'd board a Singapore Airlines flight. Just to be fair, we flew in the older business class seat configuration on the Boeing 777-300ER. Upon locating our seats, mine was 17D, which we intentionally selected in the middle to sit together. My attention was immediately drawn to the beautifully designed wide leather seat, measuring 34 inches in width, spacious enough for two individuals. Though the semi-enclosed sculpted wings provided a degree of privacy and support, seats with doors or suites akin to the Qatar Q Suite offer more privacy. Adorning the seat was this lovely decorative pillow. One of the most notable hallmarks of Singapore Airlines is the impeccable cleanliness of its business class cabin. The seats appeared as though they were brand new. In front of me, there's this large screen. Beside it is a small mirror, a cup holder, and a storage space with a sliding door. For now, let me introduce my beautiful wife, seated beside me. As I've seen in other videos, the footwell in this configuration is not forward-facing. Instead, it's positioned to the side, so when you're in a sleeping position, you're at a slight angle. However, given the seat's generous width, the angled sleep position didn't bother me at all. But if you're seated and want to relax your feet, it's not as comfortable because your feet aren't in a natural resting position. A few minutes after settling into our seats and taking some photos as mementos, the cabin crew started offering welcome drinks. As I don't consume alcoholic beverages, I opted for the orange juice. While sipping my juice, I perused a thoughtfully presented menu to see the culinary delights awaited us on this flight. One aspect I truly appreciate about Singapore Airlines is that you can review the menu online and make your meal selections a month in advance before your flight. The range of food choices was impressive, including options like chicken, beef, fish, and even vegan choices. The key, of course, is how good it tastes. In between main meals, there's an additional options like noodles, pizza, and some snacks. For wine drinkers, the selection of alcoholic beverages is sure to please. If you prefer non-alcoholic beverages, they offer mocktails, though the variety isn't as extensive as what you might find on Qatar Airways. Still, I found the Midsummer Breeze mocktail to be very delicious. As I was still enjoying in reviewing the menu, the plane taxied out of the airport and we were en route to Singapore. Given that this flight departed around midnight, my wife was quite drowsy. When it was safe to unbuckle, she decided to get some rest and began preparing her seat for sleep. What's unique with Singapore Airlines, unlike the usual business class seats where you press a bed mode button to lower the seat back, here you have to pull the backrest, and it transforms into a bed. Right behind the backrest is where you kept the duvet, a cozy blanket, and two pillows. While I waited for the after takeoff dinner, the crew brought us some nuts and I asked for another Midsummer Breeze mocktail to go with it. Afterwards, I decided to explore the entertainment options available on this flight. Naturally, I tried tapping the screen, assuming it was touchscreen, but to my surprise, it wasn't. It became clear why the warning to use the controller was always displayed on the screen. The remote control had a decent-sized touchscreen, which was convenient, but it would have been more convenient if the main screen was touch-sensitive. For a world-class airline, this was a bit of a letdown. However, the selection of entertainment was extensive, with many new movies and TV shows to choose from. Once I selected a movie to watch, I retrieved the headset from one of the storage compartments. Singapore Airlines provided a premium noise-cancelling headset. Although I can't confirm the brand, it resembled Bose. It felt and sounded like a Bose headset, but I'm not entirely certain. If you have information on this, feel free to comment below. As I got immersed in my movie, a crew member informed me that after takeoff meal was ready. She set the table for me as I adjusted the table height to my liking. The first course was the appetizer, a smoked salad salmon, accompanied by 2 slices of garlic bread and, of course, my mocktail. Presentation-wise, it was not as visually appealing as what Qatar or Air France offers. For context, here's the appetizer from Qatar Q Suite. Look at how beautifully it is presented. Taste-wise, the smoked salmon salad was truly delicious. The salmon had a strong smoky flavor that I enjoy, and the vegetables were fresh. My mouth watered as I reviewed the footage. I'm a big fan of smoked salmon. I often had it with bagels and cream cheese for breakfast. The garlic bread, however, had become somewhat soggy, perhaps because I didn't eat it right away. Next came the main course, marinated sea bass Shandong noodle soup. It looked delightful, with wheat flour noodles at the bottom of the bowl, sea bass swimming in a rich broth and topped with veggies. The noodles were perfectly cooked and the Chilean sea bass was incredibly delicious, fatty, tender, and lightly sweet. If you haven't tried Chilean sea bass yet, I highly recommend it. It's an expensive fish, but worth every penny. The broth was flavorful but not overwhelming. An almost empty bowl was a testament of how great the meal was. The meal concluded with a citrus tart. Presentation-wise, it looked unassuming in comparison to Qatar Airways, which was just a vanilla ice cream, but with colorful fruits appeared much more enticing. Taste-wise, the tart was okay. No, nothing special about it. Before we move forward, I have a small request for you. Kindly hit the like button for this video so that the algorithm can help share it with more viewers. If you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, please consider subscribing. I'm aiming to reach 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and your support would be greatly appreciated. Thank you. Following dinner, I began my search for the amenity kit. Typically, the amenity kit is already placed on your seat, but this time it was missing. It was only when I reopened the menu that I discovered a note on the first page stating that the amenity kit would be provided upon request. It struck me as quite unusual for a world-class airline, especially one recognized as the world's best, to require passengers to request it. Of course, I requested the kit to see its contents. A crew member returned with the amenity kit, which included slippers and relatively basic socks. Singapore Airlines uses the Penholigan brand for their amenities, a renowned British perfume house. The kit bag was beautifully designed, yet it appeared rather slim, as if it contained very little. However, let me provide a brief look inside the pouch. Honestly, the quality of the interior lining was the best I've experienced in any business class flights so far. Inside there was a facial mist, lip balm, hand lotion, and somewhat basic looking eye mask. JetBlue has a better eye mask than this. This is the eye mask provided in JetBlue Mint passengers. However, that's all what's inside in the amenity kit. Dental amenities were available in the lavatory. Unfortunately, there was no pajamas provided in business class. This might disappoint business class travelers. The funny thing was, right before we landed in Singapore, the crew was handing out the amenity kits to everyone. I was like, what the heck? After inspecting the amenity kit, I prepared myself for sleep. I attempted to arrange my bed, but a crew member noticed and insisted on preparing it for me. I observed as she set up the bed. After approximately 6 hours of restful sleep, it was time for our mid-flight meal. I began by requesting a cup of coffee to wake me up. The first course was a citrus grilled shrimp salad, which included walnut, blackberries, croutons, vegetables, and balsamic ginger dressing. Unfortunately, I wasn't a fan of this salad. The croutons lacked crunchiness and the blueberries were sour, quite sour. Next up was the main dish. Pan-roasted halibut with garlic lemon butter sauce. While the presentation appeared rather uninspired and the portion seemed notably small, the sauce you can see in this footage was extremely limited. It wouldn't even cover the fish if you spread it thinly. Upon cutting into the fish, it became evident that it had been overcooked, as you can see here. Upon tasting it, I found the fish to be dry. Halibut, when not overcooked, is a delicious fish, but when overdone, it became somewhat chewy and loses its flavor. While the sauce tastes good, the small quantity did little to enhance the dish flavor. This was a letdown for me. As a point of comparison, here's some dishes from other top-notch airlines. This is from Air France during our trip to French Polynesia, and this one is from Qatar Airways. This was our third time flying in Q Suite. Both meals had well-cooked and visually appealing fish dishes. In contrast, Singapore Airlines halibut was less appealing and overcooked. For desserts, there were 4 options to choose from, and I selected a pistachio praline layer cake. To be fair, the layered cake tastes so delicious. However, JetBlue offers a more appealing dessert. Just look at that vanilla ice cream. Overall, for me, the meal was a disappointment. And I was still hungry after eating. Luckily, Singapore Airlines offers in-between meals like pizza and a selection of rice noodles. I requested the leafy greens and mushroom noodles, which were considerably better than the initial meal. These are not instant noodles, as you may have noticed, and they are filled with real vegetables and vegetable broth. Paired with another mocktail, it provided a perfect refreshment. The taste was also quite good and not overly salty, and the rice noodles and veggies were not overcooked. In conclusion, this was my first business class experience with Singapore Airlines. As others have noticed, Singapore Airlines is known for its top-notch customer service. The crew is exceptionally attentive to the passengers' need. During our return flight to the United States, a crew member even handed me a handwritten thank you note, which truly exemplified their commitment to excellent customer service. However, the downside was clearly the food. I hope you found this video useful. If you're interested in watching my business class experience with Air France to French Polynesia, click on the thumbnail. Until next time, fellow travelers, bye for now.